OK, the Sydney Swans. This was a terrific contest last night at the SCG against Essendon. Some sparkling football, but a little bit of angst. As well.
We always talk about how good defences win premierships, but in this day and age, 2024, you need to be able to use the ball and you need to be able to move the ball off the line with pace, and that's where Sydney have got to. They've got so many players through the midfield now that have got genuine leg speed, like McInerney, Heaney, this man Warner we're going to speak to, the lizard off half back, but they continue to run and they move the ball in angles, and they have got some of the best kicks in the competition. So they don't go down straight lines, they change the direction every time they get the ball. Have a look at this, just change off the line, kick an easy goal. Sydney are just about the best using side in the competition right now. I think that was Collingwood 2 years ago, but I think now that these guys use the ball so well, and you can't allow this to happen. What about that? This guy's left foot, it's probably the best in the business. He had 5 direct goal assists yesterday, and the Sydney Swans are humming.
But on the flip side of that, though, Kane, the Bombers are one of the worst defensive sides, aren't they?
Yeah, so they'd be happy with their contest work and their stoppage stuff, and they've been strong in the first 2 weeks in that area. But how many times have we spoken about Essendon not being able to defend? And it was even the same against Hawthorn last week, that there was a weakness there. So they're not physical enough, and they don't block the run of those runners you said there. And the way that Sydney were able and allowed to move the footy, 19 marks inside 50 the Swans have taken. So that's an area that I'm sick of talking about, to be honest, with Essendon. To see Goulden run from back pocket to the forward 50 and deliver it under no pressure inside 50 is a concern for Essendon, and their next 6 weeks are really tough. I'm worried about the Bombers now.
Already?
Even though it was a strong performance contest and ground ball and clearance-wise, if you're not going to defend, you're going to get cut up, and I thought they were cut up last night.
TJ, the angst to which you refer already came early. Peter Wright's hit on Harry Cunningham in the first couple of minutes. We're going to take a couple of looks at this. We'll have a couple of look at angles on it. I'm sympathetic to a point to what Wright has done. I know we've all got different views on this. It caused a stir. We'll have a look at the follow-up to it in a moment with what it did by way of the teams coming together. But in real motion, he was definitely going for the ball. In slow motion, you can see that he does brace for contact, and Cunningham was subbed out of the game with a concussion, which will be part of it, and he will have a match review office case to deal with, I've got no doubt.
But, I mean, everything looks worse in slow motion, doesn't it? And I don't know, but to my untrained eye, it appeared as though his eyes were firmly on the contest and on the ball.
Yeah, we might just take a look at it again.
They weren't at the end, TJ.
Can we have a look at it?
Yeah, let's have a look at it. So this is the real motion side of it. He's going for the ball. We'll see the first shot here, and you can see his eyes are on the ball until the point in contact. Then again, everyone's got different views, Lord. You though have a pretty strong view with how it looks in 2024.
Yeah, I do too. You just can't brace anymore. You pretty much have to open yourself up and go for that mark, even if you're going to hurt yourself. You can't turn.
So it's the brace that you don't like.
It's a brace.
Yeah.
So what's he wanting to do, Lordo? That's the question that people sitting at home go, what is he expected to do? Because his eyes are firmly on the ball. Yeah. Then he comes from the left, and obviously his eyes go, OK, I'm going to be hit here. I'm going to protect my own body. Yeah. That's the question that everybody's going, what does Peter Wright do?
Instead of, you have to just either look to spoil or put your arms up to go for the mark. You can't do that.
But in under a millisecond.
Oh, no, it doesn't matter, Brownie, that's the rules.
What, there is no defence in trying to protect yourself?
No,
no defence.
I want to show one from 2021. This is when it all changed for me. I was adamant Plowman could not go for this. We'll watch another replay of it. Plowman could not go for that because I thought he was just protecting himself in that moment. Lockie Plowman got 2 weeks. And then he appealed it, got his 2 weeks, and that's when it changed for me and thought, OK, you can't even protect yourself anymore. If you make contact with the player, you are gone, unfortunately.
Yeah, I just see it as black and white. I think he's in all sorts of trouble.
Do you reckon he'll be referred directly to the tribunal?
Yes.
Well, I think that would be a grave error of judgment on the part of the tribunal.
I don't know where you've been, TJ, in the last 6 months. This is the way it's changed.
Yeah,
now,
I understand that, but if a player cannot protect himself, right, and that is the only reason, I still don't know whether he took his eyes off the ball.
Well, he did.
If he did, it was to see the steam train coming towards him.
They're asking the players to have some sort of duty of care to protect each other. That's the way it's gone, and the way you grew up with footy and the way that I did, we got to change the attitude for it. You jump off the ground, you bump, you knock someone out, and they don't take any further part in the game. It's 3+ weeks. It's just the way it is at, and Lordo's right. You need to spoil it, or you need to drive your knee up. You're allowed to drive your knee up still. Perhaps he should have done that, but he's going to miss 3 to 4 weeks, and I see it as pretty black and white.
Understandably, the Swans didn't like it, and they remonstrated with Essendon players. We'll see vision of that as it unfolds. And take note of a figure coming in from the right, the runner for the Essendon Footy Club. It's Travis Cloke who comes in, and there is no doubt the AFL will look into this as well. Now, when you do see it, you'll see that he goes to his players and tries to get his players out of this this situation, which escalates after Brodie Grundy did what he did there.
There he is.
And some may look at what Travis Cloke is doing there saying that's okay because he's trying to get his players out. But again, runners entering that situation, it's a no-no the way the AFL looks at it. And this also late, TJ, as well. Draper from nowhere effectively on Lloyd. Now, again, it's in the second quarter. The fiery levels were still up, and we'll see some comments made by Swans players as well. But there's a lot to take out of that. Draper himself might also be under match review office scrutiny, even though there was not a great effect on Lloyd. But I've got no doubt, given what the AFL did to Alistair Clarkson pre-season over the whole Jimmy Webster situation about entering the fray, that Travis Cloke will have a case to answer.
The Travis Cloke one's interesting, though, because I was watching it last night and I thought he's doing the right thing getting his players out. But then I thought, what if that is in a local league and a suburban ground anywhere around Australia, and you've got players who don't really know who Travis Cloke is and a runner from the other side? That could then blow up into a full-on... Obviously, there's respect for Travis Cloke because people know who he was, but at the lower levels, you probably don't want to see that.
There was a niggle also in a verbal sense. Now, I was watching this last night and there was a halftime interview with Tom Papley and then there were some interviews afterwards. And Tom Papley, he can give as good as he gets. But he was bemoaning the fact that the Essendon players, according to Tom Papley and the Swans, were targeting players off the ball, which I found a little bemusing given that Sydney was accused of doing the same thing some time ago. And I'm sure if Jason Johannesson was watching, he would have thought, really? But anyway, here's some of the comments made by Tom Papley and others.
Yeah, they're trying to get after us. Like, it's all off the ball. We're just worried about the ball. We'll keep being hard in the contest and get the job done.
You could see it early, absolutely. And how long were they going to go for? That was what we put up, and they're physical and they had a crack, and yeah, we obviously ran over the top of them, which was nice. So yeah, not much love there.
Yeah, they really gave it to us. Essendon, they obviously come out. Brad Scott come out and said they want to have that Essendon edge, and we knew they were going to come out. Obviously, Peter Wright maybe took it a bit too far, but that's footy. We moved on from it, and they were still getting into us. We all love the footy, love being tough, but you got to do it 4 quarters.
I want those comments.
I love them.
I want them. Are you questioning them? Because you sounded like you were questioning
No,
those.
don't tell me what I was sounding like. What I was saying was
you sounded like you were questioning them in your lead-up.
No, I was saying that
you said the whole Jason Johannesson...
Well, will you let me answer your question?
Yeah, go.
What I was saying
Please.
was it's a bit rich of the Swans complaining about a team targeting them off the ball when only a few years ago they were accused of doing exactly the same thing. That's what I was saying.
Okay.
But to answer your question, which I think was a question, was that I love those comments.
Absolutely.
And I've always been one, Damien, as you know, let the players speak their minds, OK? Yep. Now, we hope that not much is made about Tom Papley's latter comments about, being judge and jury when it comes to the right issue. But I love it. I think it's great. And if this is the way that footballers can express themselves, so be it. So I don't have a problem with it.
And on that point, so I think the Swans handled the moments really, really well. They made it known they weren't happy, but they clearly spoke about it and used it as a resolve to continue the game.
And on the Bombers front, well, they'd be criticised if they didn't do something. You get criticised if you do, and you're not going to let Gordon run the way he likes to run, and they made life tough for him. And I think they've got to keep going in the Essendon edge way, because that'll be where they'll get close to winning a final sometime soon.